Hello and welcome to another FPL video. And my love of FPL is certainly taking its toll. Me and FPL have a complicated relationship going. I spend a lot of my time interacting with her, trying to make it work, but I get nothing in return. It's a love-hate relationship, and now I'm starting to argue with her about my mistakes. The relationship is breaking down. And I can try and pretend Game Week 21 never happened by going out and getting intoxicated between now and Saturday, but it will still give me sleepless nights. Game Week 21 left me desolate in defeat after I built it up to be a successful one, then got a measly 23 points. 23 points. I was finally happy with my team, I said. It would be a great year for my FPL team, I said. And that didn't really last long. So once again, it could have been much better. My captain demons are coming back to haunt me after I thought I'd conquered them. I sold my captain from last game week. Olivier Giroud turned out to be by far the highest scoring player with over 10% ownership. Giroud is a strange footballer who, against Liverpool, did his old trick of playing poorly, missing gilt-edged chances but scoring. This time he bagged 2 goals, much to my dismay. My fault for buying into all this media frenzy about Klopp and his apparently effective gegenpressing. His replacement, Ighalo, who I decided to captain, he seemed the best captain choice due to his consistency this season, but he fires a blank now I've got him in my team, which I preempted would happen against a Southampton side that can sometimes perform well. But I'm in it for the long game, and Ighalo's next 2 fixtures are at home against a struggling Swansea and a Newcastle side at home who are awful away from home, let's be honest. And Giroud's next 2 are the mighty Potters away and Hiddink nearly resurrected Chelsea. So I can gain some satisfaction in seeing Giroud blank and Ighalo score, especially with Alexis Sanchez coming back for Arsenal, which means Theo Walcott could take Giroud's place as Arsenal centre forward. However, I don't think I will make up the points because I've lost, I think 26 points by selling Giroud, probably would have been my captain, for Ighalo, who fired a blank and scored 4 points as captain, but he isn't the only one to have fired a blank from the big hitters this season in the template team, and I'm not the only one to score so low in points. So all I can do is move on and try to forget about the unfortunate Giroud shenanigans and very poor game week 21. And now I'm left with this team. She's beautiful, she can be great, and yet her uselessness causes me much pain and hurt. I've no idea why she's so bad, which is why it's so hard to take. My team is based heavily on statistics, football knowledge, and years of experience of playing FPL. I know that Mesut Ozil averages an assist every 300 minutes in his Arsenal career, and scores a goal once in a blue moon. Based on previous seasons, I know that David Silva is a much more consistent assister and goal scorer who reached double figures in goals and assists last season. I know that Arnie's form is temporary, but Barkley's class is permanent. I know that promoted teams like Watford very rarely have world-class goal scorers. I know that Arsenal do have world-class goal scorers. So I don't know why I actually went for Ighalo over Giroud, and I'm still regretting the decision to do that. But this season has made me change the way I play the game. This season has made me question my own integrity as a fantasy football manager, and I will rant about it because it makes me angry. And I'm even questioning whether Jack Butland is worth owning now, despite him being the best goalkeeper in FPL in terms of points this season. It's easier to get him out though if I stop thinking about Jack Butland as the Stoke keeper, who is England's future and probably current number one and our player of the season. And think about Butland, the FPL keeper, who has only kept one clean sheet in 5 games and has upcoming fixtures against teams struggling for goals. When I start thinking about, Butland, the FPL keeper, and, forget about the love affair that I have with him. And when I start to think logically about, the future of my team and how I can improve it, then he's no longer a great pick. And if you look at his fixtures, he's playing teams that always seem to score goals. Arsenal, I expect them to score. Leicester, they always seem to score, don't they? And United as well. You never know what United team is going to turn up. And Everton, Voids, scored goals this season, and I've already scored 3 past Butland so far. So it was obviously difficult to sell Butland, but I have sold him for Adrian, who comes in at a cheaper price at 5.0 and is well worth that money with upcoming fixtures against sides that are struggling for goals at the moment. So, clean sheets are just round the corner for Adrian, and I expect him to come into form. He's playing against Newcastle and Villa and Norwich, Sunderland as well. So he should keep clean sheets against at least a couple of those. So Adrian is now my first choice keeper. It's fantasy football fix time, and it's time for more energetic analysis of my team. And I'm sure fantasy football is a fix, and I'm sure it's all set up so that my team fails. I call conspiracy, because why is Adrian nearly going down in price despite being one of the best goalkeeping options in the league, and who I've just signed because he's actually now a better option than Jack Butland? So that makes no sense. Why is Moreno nearly going down in price? Why is De Bruyne and Silva almost going down in price? And why is Barkley almost falling as well, despite them all potentially having a double game week coming up if they progress through to the League Cup final? So, fantasy football doesn't really make sense, does it? And it annoys me. All of this querying and questioning is normally why I'm usually so good at this game, but this season it's just led to me being a dithering, nervous wreck. Something's telling me I should start following what everyone else is doing instead, like picking players based on MOTD and having a life. So don't listen to what I'm saying, don't take any of my advice on board, and just pick the players that you think are the best in the league.